it's WDHA's Reconnect with Rockers. I am reconnecting with a lady that I'm through the roof. I'm so excited to have Amy Lee from Evanescence on with me today. It is great to see your beautiful, gorgeous, incredible face. And thank you so much for taking the time to hang out.
Thank you, Terry. It's so nice to talk to you. Thanks for having me.
First of all, I want to talk about you being somebody who you haven't marched to your own beat. You've kind of created the beat, I think, for yourself. And I make up words all the time. I'm like somebody who's always making up these crazy, silly words. So I've always called your fans to people spanners. They're spanners. They're spanners of generations. They're spanners of, preconceived notions. Like I have a neighbor here. She's a Ricky Martin fan. She's a Mark Anthony fan. She's a bigger Evanescence fan. I cannot predict who the Evanescence fan is going to be. You see them in a crowd. You see them in a video shoot. They're everyone. They're young. They're older. They look like a pastor. They look like a guy who just drank a keg.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Talk to me about, you are in a unique position where you have a fan base like kind of no other, dare I say it, current-based band in rock and roll. Where do you think that comes from, Amy?
That's a tough question. Obviously, because I don't really know the answer, but I feel a very strong forces in my life that pull me to making music, and I love our fans. And every time I am surprised that someone is like, I'm your fan, it's absolutely not what you would expect or whatever. It just makes me so happy, because that's what music is like for me. It is the power of just the human spirit. And then if there's something that we all have to deal with, is our mortality and processing the things that are difficult. And I have hope. I have been through a lot. I have lost a lot, and I still have hope. And that doesn't mean it's not impossibly difficult sometimes. But I really feel like having each other, having other people, I express myself through my lyrics and through my art, because it heals my soul and connects me to other people, even if I don't know them. And whether or not we get to stand up on stage and share that live with people this year or not, I still feel that connection so strongly between our fans and us right now, almost more so because we are all in a tough situation together. So I don't know the real answer, but I feel that, and I am so proud of that and so humbled by that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like that fan connection. And I think the beautiful part now is we're getting some new music, which fuels people. We started doing this feature because people were freaked out about the fact that maybe I'm not going to be able to connect and do the things that you guys have done. You guys have done, hooking up listeners with meet and greets or having them in your studio. And how do we reconnect with the rockers that we love? So that's why we started doing this feature. And I think it fuels us through tough times. Hence, now we're getting singles from The Bitter Truth. Now, this record, I'm going to say this, it's out, but it's not fully out, because you guys are releasing, single, which a lot of bands are deciding to do. Everybody's releasing new music differently, but you kind of are like, hi, we're in a release cycle, if you will. So talk to me about why you guys decided to do that.
Several reasons. Honestly, I'm in the studio right now. I'm actually in the closet of the studio. We are still recording. I'm still writing words. I really love breaking the rules, my own rules, and just kind of reinventing the road when we make music. It feels good to be able to break free from the formula, or even just the feeling of okay, this is the process. This is what comes first, is what we do. It feels really good to me to find that it can come from anywhere. If it's really just coming from your soul, then it could be thinking of a melody in your head at night, laying in bed, or it could be, Will comes up with an awesome drum beat and I make something out of that, or, just me and Tim in my house together, jamming out until something happens, whatever it is. it's cool to sort of just break your own mold and find different paths that lead you there. So anyway, all that said, we're writing in all kinds of ways, but releasing too. Like, we live in a time where albums are awesome, especially for us and especially for rock. I feel like an album is what we want, and what I love albums. And I think our fans, our hardcore fans, are going to want an album. We couldn't just release songs and call it nothing. But at the same time, like, I consume music in single doses all the time. And I actually like that. I like the idea of us all getting to experience one thing at a time together in real time. And I say in real time because it's like, we're still writing it. So like, the songs that you've heard so far, like, they just happened. We just finished them.
See, I love that though. I think that's so great, because
it feels so good.
You have something in the can and then 9 months later it gets released. And I mean, it literally is like in real time. I think this has really sparked such a creative, almost revolution for artists now to be able to do things this way. And I think it's incredible. I mean, this is the third Use My Voice's third single that we're getting from The Bitter Truth, and it's just been paced so absolutely perfectly. So I love consuming music like this.
Yeah, it's cool. Thank you. It's been fun. It's been cool because we couldn't have anticipated what was going to happen when we went in and just did the first batch. You know, we were thinking, okay, we're going to go in, we're going to record like the 3 or 4 songs, you know, that we're going to pick some, and then we're going to go on tour for a while, and then we'll come back and do some more later. And it was like, thank God we went in and did some, because then we couldn't for a while. And it also has been cool because we couldn't have predicted how much there would be to write about this year, like how much passion and emotion and just perspective and life and just things going on, to the point that I feel I it's awful, but I feel like, okay, I have things that I need to get off my chest. So it's great for me to be able to have something, just a project to work on. Honestly, I've been spending my time on this. This is what I'm doing all year, really. And it's felt really good to be able to have that, like, just to have something good, productive, like, move forward however you can, take that crazy circumstance and just make something out of it. Like, this is our time. Who knows if we have
feel
tomorrow.
Inspired. Yeah, absolutely. So Use My Voice. Wow. Incredible. You got the ladies all together. The ladies got together. Lizzie is there, and Taylor is there, and Lindsay is there, and Sharon is there. Talk to me about the inspiration for that song. A true battle cry for people who feel like maybe they've been silenced. I think you listen to that song, you feel empowered, you feel like your voice matters. And I think it's incredibly inspiring for people.
That's awesome. I mean, that is exactly it. There are a lot of voices unheard. I'm singing about myself as much as it is like a unifying about the world around me, speaking directly to like the issues going on right in front of our face. It's also my own heart and my own like feelings about not feeling heard, about feeling like it's a moment right now. It is a time to stand up for ourselves and use our voices and say something. And there's sacrifice with that. Like, we have to be okay with that. Like, we just have to be okay with searching our soul. I feel like the thing that I am just clinging to is search your soul for what's true and what is right, and really think about it, because it matters right now. It always matters. But like, what next steps we take and what comes out of our mouth and what we influence and what we do and what comes next, like it all matters so much. And this for me is different, and the passion is the same, but there is a different fire happening right now for me. I'm not somebody who's ever used my political voice, and I believe in unity most of all. I think we have to talk about it. I think we have to respect each other, but we can still respect each other and disagree and come together and get to a better place than where we are now. So I'm hoping that it does everything you said and inspires and empowers people, get people to vote. It's about the world around us, and it's about, this is no time to sit on the sidelines.
And I want to mention headcount.org, which, by the way, is using it as a theme song, nonpartisan voter registration site. And I always say to people, if you don't vote, you really can't bitch.
Right.
You can't complain. You just cannot complain.
That keeps coming up in my head. It's so true.
It's so true. It's so true. I've been taught from a young age, thankfully, by my parents, that you have a voice. I've voted in every election, local election, since I was 18 years old. It's so important. And it makes it very easy, by the way, headcount.org, for people to register to vote if they have not registered to vote before. It gives you a lot of information. So it's a really, really easy sort of organization. If you were intimidated or afraid, you can check it out and sort of see how you can get yourself and your voice heard. But I'm so happy.
Make it easier. There's so much info to chase down, and you go to one place and be like, okay, wait, where's my voting place for where I'm at, and what's the date if I want to go in person early, and what are the options here? This year's different, so anything that we can do to empower people to make it more convenient or easier or whatever, just possible to get in there. Don't get caught at the last second being like, oh crap, I didn't, register in time, or I didn't know where to go, or whatever.
And young people still, there's such a big percentage of young people that just are like, you know what, I'm just not bothering. And you have to bother.
I have to admit, I do not have a perfect record like you. I have had times where I didn't realize how much it mattered. I was kind of like, well, my state's going to swing the way that I want to go, so I'm good. It's because I'm on tour or whatever, and it's too hard, man. I regret that so much. We can't do that. This has to be a time when, it doesn't matter who you are, or if you're a person who's always voted, or a person who's super into politics.
And we forget sometimes elected officials work for us. So if we think they're doing a sucky job, we can fire them.
Yeah, it's America. Come on.
I don't think people understand that sometimes, so that's, I'm really, really happy that you, are helping people understand that and helping fans understand that. I also want to talk about, and I was so proud of you for saying this, some recent comments, and it really rang a bell in my head, because I've been a female rock program director for a while, and you talked about some comments that I thought were very spot on about women getting played on rock radio. I'm very lucky because we've always been a station. I've been at WDHA a long time, longer than I'd like to admit. I like to say, I've been there 8 years. It's more like 28 years. Yeah. But there's always been that sort of, we have 5 females on the playlist, so we can't add any more. If I get 6 calls for people in my all request lunch hour, and there's 6 female artists, and it's you, and it's Lita Ford, and it's Lizzie, and it's Taylor Momsen, and it's, I'll play all those people,
Right.
So I love the fact that you said, and I want to sort of read the quote, we get left out because we're not the quintessential face of rock and roll. And I get that. I'm not the quintessential face, of the rock program director either. When did you have the bravery to be able to sort of say, you know what, I'm just kind of ready to say this? And you said, so all you women out there making your mark in the rock world and changing the game, you're the real deal. You're 1,000 times more legit than just a tatted riffmeister who just looks the part. And I thought that was so legit, and I don't think that that's a gender thing. I just think that that's a reality thing. And I was wondering, when did you feel like, you know what, I can just say, I can say this, speak my truth.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's like I've never said anything like that before, but I have been looking at it a little bit differently. In this time, just been so much awareness raising about social issues, and it's made me kind of look inside and think about that, because it is rare to be a woman in the rock industry. Still, it's a little less rare than it used to be, but not that much. I think it may be even rarer. It's changed being in your position, because radio interview always meant a guy. Always. I know. And 9 times out of 10, that meant putting up with this stupid, crass, sexist humor and having to laugh at that, or I look like a bitch. That's just part of it. You have to just play along with their stupid game to get them to go ahead and play my single. Okay. And it really doesn't feel as bad as that anymore. But I mean, you still look at the charts and it's nowhere near even. And I think that part of that is possibly a perception about what a female or female fronted or whatever rock band is. That's not a genre, people. Being a girl isn't a genre. That doesn't make me sound like a certain thing. That doesn't mean that it's not like being a fan of punk. So it shouldn't be treated like there's only room for this handful of female fronted or female whatever bands, because we need to, keep a bunch of different sounds going. Like, fuck that. That's not how it works. We are people, right? And I think that really the other thing I said in that post that it really just dawned on me. It's like, that's rock and roll is being different. So if we don't look just like what you want us to look like, that's good. Like, let's keep that going.
Yeah. You talked about the sense of rebellion. It's a sense, it's that sense of rebellion. And that's exactly what rock and roll has always been about. Chrissy Hine on the tour bus. It doesn't matter if she has guys or girls in the band. I wouldn't tangle with Chrissy no matter what, that's what rock and roll is all about. And I imagine now is a great time for you as an artist, because it seems to be, there's a certain freedom drawing upon experience, a fearless path. And you've paved the path for people like Taylor Momsen, who has a #1 record on the rock charts for the last couple of weeks. And congratulations to her. Yeah. And she credits you as somebody who has inspired her. So I would imagine right now for you, it's a really good time, a great time to be an artist.
It is a great time to be an artist, and Taylor is so sweet for saying anything about me. I think that we all are part of the change just by being here. Like, it's more normal. Like, the more of us there are, the more of us there will be. And I think that that's all it is. I honestly, and it shouldn't, by the way, we don't want your pity, right? We want you to like our music because it's good. Like, hands down.
That's what it's about. So the show, we're gonna bring the tunes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, it is a great time to be an artist right now. Like I was saying before, I don't know what I would do if I couldn't be pouring my energy right now into exactly what I'm feeling and what we're going through, and just something to feel like soul food, because there's just there's so much fear and just anxiety and depression and like, what the hell is next? I don't know. Like, the world feels like it's ending some days. So I am really grateful to be able to stand in that and go, you know what? I believe that this isn't the end of the world. And in these times when we're tested as people, I'm not even talking about as an artist, like in these times when we are tested, it's our opportunity to rise to that occasion and find that sometimes being there for others and pouring into something else is more fulfilling than just feeding yourself, if that makes sense. Like, than just consuming. Yeah. I started out this quarantine playing a whole lot of Animal Crossing. And you know what? It was fun. I liked it. But at the same time, like, I didn't wake up the next day feeling all that good about myself. And the more that I started working on our music and using my feelings and pushing myself forward, the better it has been for me. And I just say that to encourage people. And it's okay to have a sleep day. Like, it's okay to give yourself some rest, because we're all going crazy. But at the same time, like, pick yourself up. This is not the end. Like, we absolutely are going to make it to the other side. It's going to take some work, but like, we're here. We are the human race. We got this. We just got to come together.
Yeah. Come together, figure it out. And I think we're going to be better off on the other side. It just some days feels like it's a little tough getting there.
I know.
But we're moving. Amy Lee, The Bitter Truth. I look forward to tunes as they drop. Use My Voice. Powerful, meaningful, infectious. And I'm so excited. Like, I'm a fangirl. So this was like everything that I thought it would be and more. And I'm so happy to connect with you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your super busy schedule. Cannot wait to see you in person. And thanks for using your voice to inspire so many. It's so important.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go back in there and sing some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rock
DHA's Reconnect with Rockers is powered by Advantage Contracting and by Karis Lock Company.